All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Space Brothers, episode 56.
You got a new test.
Uh-huh.
Design something that will then be able to land a device that can then go to the thing. Awesome. Cool.
Ah, yeah.
But your engineer's not helping you.
He's a character.
Yeah.
Oh boy, is he a character. And he's probably a genius, but he doesn't care. You guys are going to lose. So,
yeah.
Sucks to suck. I'm excited to see how Muta entreats this guy and ends up actually getting him to work with them. Because I feel like this is the kind of thing that Muta would be actually pretty good at.
This is definitely one of those play the person, not the problem kind of situations.
Yeah, or it could just be Muta designs a really dope little car thing,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
Little rover or what have you.
We'll have to see.
But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. He's best friends with Bold. Maybe. They have a
Or at least
special fist bump.
A friend of Bold's,
Right.
which already puts him into
We've
a
never
pretty
met one of
narrow
those
group.
before, you know?
Yeah.
Promise to drink. Oh, so they might not even be friends. This might just be them fulfilling a promise.
若さの秘訣か
Or are they the same age?
君はここ数年で随分髪が減ったようだな、ピコ。
髪が減ったんじゃねえ。顔の面積が増えたんだ、上に。
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
飲む前から酔ってる顔だな。
Okay.
まあな。
So that's gonna be our bro, given that he's hurt everything.
酒で恐怖心をごまかすという実に単純な発想にとどまるあたり。ガキの頃とレベルが変わってないな。
Oh, yeah. Why do you say that?
3人の英雄を亡くした悲劇が脳裏をよぎります。あの時と同じく機関船オリオンで地球に帰ってきます。
Oh.
今回が事故以来初めての月からの帰還ということで、
Whoa.
I see.
ブライアンたちの事故、くだらねえ煽りに。
Yeah, that is pretty dirty of the media.
君が仕込んだパラシュートがちゃんと開くかどうかにかかっている。
Whoa.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the
All right,
context.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's an older engineer, so
Anyone would take that rough.
wow.
南波さん、
セリカさん、
体調大丈夫ですか？
はい。
I feel amazing.
Yes.
あ、いや。
Yeah, if you don't feel amazing, then you get special treatment.
セリカさんが解放してくれるハッピータイムを。
You already blundered, so too late.
100人力ですから。
はい。
いや、これはこれで。
Yeah, we'll take this.
ゴムの方が走りは安定しますが、重量に余裕がなくなってし、
Yeah, every ounce matters.
Sure.
こんな風に作ればプラスチック製でもちゃんと進みますよ。
ああ、なるほどね。
Ooh, yoinking some ideas.
Yeah.
Not against the rules.
After
We're
all,
just
your
scouting.
engineer isn't doing anything.
担当する技術者はちゃんと作り方を教えてくれるみたいだね。
俺らの担当はあの酔っ払いだからな。
自分たちだけでやるしかなさそうだね。
But that's an in. If you drink with him, then you sacrifice one
Oh.
team member for scouting, you know?
That also would be the reason why he got put back here if he's so brilliant, you know? Is that he messed something up, and so now it's the, okay, well,
何し
you
に
can
来
work
てん
the
だろ
ass cans.
Good question to
う。
ask
この
him.
野郎。
Who's got the best,
Bedside manner.
ability to hold their liquor, you know? Can you try it?
やっぱりダメか。
You don't send your charisma character to deal with a person with zero, charisma.
これをどう使うかがポイントになってきそうだな。
確かにね。とりあえず訓練手順書のルールをよく読んで考えよう。
Right, we need to see the bounds and parameters of what we're in for.
Do everything we can for now.
自動制御で目的地へ向かわなければならない。
Wow. So cool when you think about it, because some of the components are going to be super tiny and super
yeah.
lightweight. So things have to be perfect.
ここの近くにあるホームセンターで適切な材料を選んで買うとこ。
Just actual
Just from
Home
a hardware
Depot.
store.
They literally just drew
Yeah.
a Home Depot, yeah.
額が違うんだね。
Because they're in the US,
ど
so...
こ？最後のページに書いて。
I was gonna say 600 seems like
Oh,
a
dang.
very small amount.
サ
Dang.
バイバルのゴール順で違うわけか。
Wow. So that's your punishment. So he had
Okay.
nothing to do with... He was nothing to do with their punishment, really. Well, I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of inherently you might get the worst one, but
Right, but you wouldn't have to necessarily.
right.
Because that was based on their choices of the previous teams.
And they probably didn't if they can get him over his whole slump with the past.
Yeah.
スイッチがオフだぜ。
Oh.
Muta noticed something about how he walked, maybe?
No, he's the connection. You're the same as me. Your switch is set to off. Because that's something he said before. Muta's identifying a
Sure.
pattern.
俺はピコの口癖だ。
Yeah.
スイッチがオンだのオフだのってのはな。
Which means we could switch him on.
いつ終わるかわかんねえからどうのこうのっていうのもよく言うね、ピコは。
言ってましたそれ。
That could tie into the parachute that he developed, you know?
Oh, I'm sure it did.
わかるやつが言うには、オンの時の方がちょっとだけ真面目になる。
Maybe when he's playing a video game?
朝の職員じゃないんですか？
違うよ。
Oh.
俺もピコも。
Okay.
俺たちはデンバー社の職員だ。
Denver. Talk to us.
言ってみりゃ NASA の下請けの技術者ってとこだな。
Ah.
All right, they're gonna get...
The whole group did. Okay.
機械システムを開発製造するサブプロジェクト
Wow.
の
Yeah.
プロジェクトマ
An
ネージャ
engineer
ー
that's
総合
also a
責任者
project
だ。
manager. That's kind of...
That's impressive, yeah.
Yeah, well, you just wouldn't expect it of him. He's so anti-people.
Right.
ヨロヨロした人がなんでそんな超重要なポジションなんだ。
Because when he's on, he's on.
大丈夫なのか。
Fun. That's a nice kind of side parallel plot to have going on while this is going on.
年の大会に出場した人がネットにアップしていたんです。
nice.
写真も図面も掲載されてたんで全部プリントアウトしました。
Internet mentioned and used. Let's go.
どこにも書いてませんでしたよ。
勝手にどうぞ。
As a enormous lollipop.
Yeah.
なかなかドキドキさせてくれるじゃねえか、ピコ。俺たちのクルーは来年あれに乗るんだぜ。
Whoa.
いや、違うんだ、ブライアン。この試験は、オリオンの重量や大気の状態。
So this is more stress than it would actually have.
Yeah.
Because we're planning for that worst case scenario.
ために墜落も想定内の試験だったんだ。
Gotcha.
Right, what would it take to make it crash?
Yeah.
俺はペシャンコにならなくて済むわけね。
Wow.
信じてくれ。必ずあんたを無事に返す。
Look how serious he is. Yeah, this is him on. Like he's
Yep.
engaged.
無事に帰還した宇宙飛行士と一緒に酒を飲むこと。
Title of the episode:
Okay.
A Promise to Drink. Yeah, he lost faith in his ability to do things properly as well.
Oh, sure. I mean, how could you not?
Because the damn fool is him, you know?
Yep.
That!
Yes!
That's so gross.
Is he gonna hit one of them?
Oh, God.
That's...
Oh, God, no. And it could
no.
get stuck in his hair. That's nasty.
That's so gross.
図面は残っててそれを参考に作ってるはずなのに。
But the blueprints aren't enough, like he was
Okay.
saying, yeah.
プライドか。
ダメだ。ローリーのせいでプライドってこと。
It doesn't work anymore.
Yep.
この後もピコは試験を続けたよ。もっと確実でより良いパラシュートシステムにするためにな。あいつの中じゃまだ不完全だったんだな。
Right,
But
right.
even with all those tests.
その途中でピコは一度だけ想定外のミスをした。
Oh, so it's well aware
Oh,
that
yeah,
he made a
what-
mistake.
Right, what went wrong? Wrong.
バッテリー切れか怠け者でももうちょい動くぜ。
よし。じゃあ主にプログラミングはアマンティと北村さん。
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, it really is just Home Depot.
いいらしきものができてきたね。今日はここまでかな。明日もこの図面通りにスタビライザーとタイヤを作っていこう。
I like Kenji being the manager of the general project, you know, like the director kind of thing.
ダメだ。結構贅沢な素材をふんだんに使ってるんだよ。
We're gonna run out of budget.
合計で$500近く使っちゃうよ。
Dang.
So then you only have, what? Then you only have enough for one try.
作るのが予算の限界だ。
Yeah.
失敗できない。失敗して壊れるのを前提で 最低でも2機作れるくらいの余裕があった方がいい。
Oh, then a little bean pops out. Yeah.
やけに消極的だな、ナンバー。
ものづくりには失敗
I just hope he doesn't eat it.
Yeah, he's talking to
No! Ah!
いい素材を使っているものがいいものとは限らねえんだ。だけど
more protein.
それはいいものだ。
じゃあなんだ、わざと失敗した。
Whoa, he's getting sent back. Yeah.
いたことが分かった。畳む方向にズレが生じ。
Wow. Wow.
Something as simple as that.
Something as
small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
ニューエア社は確実なパラシュートシステムを君らよりも安くし、
Oh, that too. They outbid you.
ライアンたちが乗るセス50のオリオンにはニューエア社のパラシュートを搭載する。
ちょっと待て。
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't think it was that. I misunderstood the
Wow.
timeline because they were talking about the test,
Uh-huh.
but I thought he was saying the follow-up crash that was the Brian.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
just you just spent too much
God.
on R&D.
ライアン、酒を飲む約束も守れずに。
何言ってんだ。その約束は生きてるよ。俺が帰ったら今回のことなんか忘れる。
Wow.
just Brian J was such an amazing guy.
But that means that it's the guilt that he has
Yeah.
is so much more complicated than just I fucked up. It's the
Yeah.
no, I didn't properly stand up for the process.
もしピコがやってたならブライアンは生きていた。俺はそう思ってるね。
What a guy! Way to stand up for Pico. Then all throughout this, just
Yeah.
sharing the story and the perspective there.
その夜、それでもピコは一人で約束のパブに行った。
Got a wild turkey, didn't he? Two of them, huh? We've been trying to hold it in all this time, and the alcohol is what lets him like feel
Yeah.
and get loose. And
And that also says a lot about Bold.
Right.
He's the one who actually drinks with him.
right, yeah. In a lot of ways, Bold maybe understanding the situation shows why he would get so intense and uppity about inefficiency and about people not being professional and not doing their jobs right.
Sure.
Is because he watched that ineptitude lead to one of his friends feeling guilty for the rest of his
Well,
life for someone dying. Like,
I mean, yes, and also you could look at it from with the exact opposite perspective of people rushing and cutting things off that should be finished, even though it might seem like an unnecessary expense. That's the very thing that would have stopped it.
all right, we know a lot more about Pico now.
Yeah,
And
cool.
we got a really fun perspective on a guy who wasn't just meant to be a talented engineer and somebody that ended up designing a really cool part of a NASA piece of equipment, but he was specifically also the project manager and probably lead on this part of the parachute for Orion. And while, he's a subcontractor, so it's something where they're all beholden to the same parts on this test in a lot of ways that they're doing for the ASCANs here, which is kind of fun because then it does feel like they're being used in this way to then learn the lesson of what the kind of Pico experienced here as well.
Right, that anything can go wrong and then suddenly people die. And we had that demonstrated with Hibito in the previous, whole situation with the space mission.
Yep.
And now they're getting to see that from the other side of things. And the idea that, workplace politics, they played a part in Hibito's whole situation and they played a part in Brian J's death. That's always going to be a part of things. And so you have to navigate both.
Yeah, and that's kind of the setup for what the first test was. Is that's the workplace politics that landed you in the shitty position where you're now getting the lowest budget, the least help with regards to it.
Yep.
And nobody cares. That's just what you have to deal with.
Right.
It's a fun wall that they have to climb, basically. And they're saying, it's normal that this happens.
Right. Yeah. But the idea that the reason that he feels the guilt is not because his design was faulty.
Right.
But because he wasn't able to properly convince his superiors that this is the way that things need to go, or the people that they're working with. And so they went with a different company who, wasn't as thorough, and oh hey, people died. There you go. And so it's not about whether or not your technical ability was right or not.
Yeah.
It's potentially about your ability to lead a project, in that, oh hey, one of the tests that you were doing, that's a very understandable thing. You do a bunch of tests, but then, oh hey, there's a mistake on one of the tests that makes it so that then you're over budget or whatever, and they don't want to work with you. Cool. And you weren't able to convince them otherwise.
Right. And there's something kind of interesting with that, where I know some people that work in the U.S. government behemoth, where it's just bloated to hell in terms of people that are involved there. And these people are like just readily talking about this while they're just having drinks and what have you. And the idea that in the U.S. government specifically, they will basically have all the other companies cannibalize each other's prices, trying to compete to get a contract. And then they will just go with whatever the cheapest one is. They literally do not care about the quality after a certain point. They're just like, oh, theirs is 3% cheaper, where it's like, I mean, a moderate difference. Like, obviously, 3% on a big project can be a lot of money.
Sure.
But it's no, we don't care about the cost-benefit difference between that 3% of any of them. Like, it's just, nope, just do the cheapest one. So the idea that Denver does 2 tests that end up stretching the limits of things, and they're like, you'd waste our money to do tests on things that like that are just not necessary. It's like, well, these are people's lives that we're thinking about. It's like, I don't think that's his priority.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah. Now, to be fair, it's a metric fuck ton of money when you're talking about anything to do with NASA.
Right.
Part of that is just because space, brings a whole lot of variables into the equation.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also probably because in a lot of ways there's a lot of people trying to make money off of NASA and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
as well.
right. There's the whole thing of, anytime the government is trying to hire you for something, add a zero onto whatever your normal price is. And
they'll still buy it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that being said, the idealism of this guy was put on display in the flashback.
Yep.
He's thinking, no, the project needs to be perfect. It needs to be as good as possible because otherwise people could die.
Yep.
And 2 tests with crashes was too much. It's astonishing to me, like in a lot of ways, how much this translates well into like scientific discoveries and pushes and stuff, where people are like, we're not getting it immediately. Oh my God, did you not think about that? You're part of the human story, narrative, history experience with whatever you're pushing for, and you think, oh my God, what's going to happen if we fail a couple times, or if we bungle up the experiment, or what have you?
Because when you put it on spreadsheets, you don't get any of that.
Yeah, this would have me probably crash out and check out in the same way as Pico has.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, where it's like, the thing that's most important is how much money is being spent. Cool. So when I'm on the clock, I'm on the clock, and when I'm off the clock, I'm off the clock. Right? Like I went above and beyond beforehand to even develop a personal connection with the people that are going to be relying on this equipment, so that it isn't just a math problem that I conceptually know, has people's lives on the line.
And he was probably friends with Brian J. before this.
Oh, sure, that's a definite possibility. Yeah, right. Yeah. But oh, hey, it didn't work. And oh, hey, now they are using his design for Hibito's re-entry. Cool. And
hey, they learned the lesson.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah.
But that's a fun bit of narrative tension to add into this arc, where, for the most part, the building of the rover is not that interesting to me.
No.
It could
It's all
be
about the personal stuff that happens alongside it.
Right. Like, it could be interesting to see them going over it in the same way that, this will elevate the individual characters on the team in the ways that they're good at certain things.
Yeah. And certain details I did find kind of interesting, right? Of like, oh, no, actually, you don't want to use a rubber because that's a lot more weight dependent. You'd want to use a plastic because that's going to be lightweight and yada, yada. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, good to know. But having the story focus so much on Pico's character being one that's been so wholly wounded in a lot of ways from this experience. And the idea that it was just something as simple as, I promised this guy that my friend, that we're going to go get a drink together after this. And then he says almost like prophetically before this, I'm sorry, I won't be able to promise to get that drink. And he's like, whoa, what are you talking about, man? It's not like it's like doomed to fail or anything. Like, I'm still getting a parachute. Like, you know. And it's the thing of where he's like, I can't promise it though, because I don't know anything about this. And I have lost faith in a lot of ways in this because because I learned what actually dictated the decision. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's something to be said in the way that Pico could have been the kind of person after this event where he becomes way more controlling. Like way more hands-on in a way that is like he never wants to lose something like that again, so he gets way too invested and way too intense, and he becomes a little bit more like Bold if you think about it. Sure. Like, but he didn't. He went kind of the polar opposite, and it's specifically in an area that he's directly connected to, and maybe to speculate a little bit, maybe it's an emotional thing as well. Maybe he doesn't like the idea of looking over this kind of stuff as much. Or maybe he's literally stressing about it because it's so similar to the thing that's about to be used, and he's like, oh God, what if it happens here? Yep. Then it would really be like this karmic like fate of just...
I will say, the whole thing that he mentioned of like, oh, you guys don't stand a chance, so there's no point in even trying. Sure. As far as that feels very relatable as far as employee at a workplace with shitty management that's been there too long, right? And so they see that hard work is not actually rewarded. Right. And so it's I just do an assessment, kind of in a similar way to Bold, maybe in this way they are kind of similar, of I'm not going to get anything of value here. All right, well, cut that off then. Yeah. You know, like, that's that. Okay. Yeah. I'll go back to oh my God, as far as completely aside from all the heavy character, you know, all that good stuff that we got this episode. Sure. We've had a lot of like kind of gross little tics that characters have had, but snort rocketing a chocolate covered peanut, not just to hit another one so you can take a drink. Okay, that's funny. But into someone's hair who then does not notice it and then later takes it out and eats it. That is rank.
It's
that
rank,
is raunchy.
But you know what it means? Muta and him are super similar. They would actually be best friends. And then what's great about this is that Muta's going to connect probably with Pico, and then Bold's going to hear about it and be like, that? Chuckle fuck? What?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Huh.
Oh,
interesting.
Man. I would absolutely be here for seeing a jealous I'm his best friend Bold.
He walks in to see them already drinking together at the bar, and he's like I don't even know you anymore.
Like he just turns into Charles Boyle when Jake hangs out with literally anybody else. Yeah.
Wait, why does that work so well? Like the instant you said when he turns into, I was like, I could see it.
Because it's something like the idea of Bold just having friends in and of itself is already kind of odd, right? And
yeah,
and from what we
friends
saw,
are inefficient in his world.
Exactly. And maybe they're not even so much friends per se as people who have an understanding, and so we will drink together.
Right. And in that respect, probably because they're so different, they're in their own little worlds.
But they have this one way in which it's like
their way in which they kind of reach across their borders and be like, hey, peace, right? It's good,
But wow. Okay,
cool. Yeah.
I'm very invested in Pico now.
I'm very invested in Pico too. Yeah, this is something that I think did a really good job. It had a lot of lifting to move. I would say a lot of stuff to lift here, and part of that is that this episode was basically just a gigantic backstory exposition dump about Pico, but also some of the ways in which NASA works. So I feel like it's still educational for the characters involved as well in a way that's relevant and helpful. It doesn't feel so entirely out of place.
Yeah,
that I'm pulled out of the story.
It's a fun new direction to take the screen time focus of the show in because I'm not particularly invested in how well they can actually build the rover.
Right,
you know?
right. The minutia of that is just going to take time.
They're already ass cans.
It's a montage. You know?
Exactly. They'll do their thing. But the idea of, no, actually, here's a lot of the ways that the politics of like working at the organization that does the big space expeditions, you know? Sure. Like that, I could absolutely see that being all kinds of messy. And if you're talking about what will make it or break it for you of whether or not you go into space, that's absolutely something that would apply. And as far as our differences between our two space brothers, Hibito is absolutely the one that would have excelled in office politics. Whereas Muta, oh gosh, I don't know, but for some reason I think it wouldn't go quite as well.
It's almost like the show opened up with the idea of
him
how
being
bad he was at that. You know?
Right.
And we were all like in with him immediately. We're like, yeah, you
headbutt that asshole. But that asshole might be the one that's making a lot of decisions. So
Right. And so what do you do when you're backed up against the wall and you have to do this project no matter what, even if it's doomed to be ignored?
Right. Not just doomed to fail.
Here's what's fun.
Yeah.
The fact that eventually they used Pico's design shows that the work that they put in was still extremely valuable because, yes, this is the dark part about this here, is that if the capsule landed great because the wind caught the parachute just right and the left-handed person folding the cloth, stretched it just enough to where it didn't matter enough, really, they would have still kept using that parachute and everything there. Like, it would have happened.
Sure, yep.
And it just would have been a different accident.
Right.
So the idea that it was this one gets it potentially out of the way faster.
Well, not necessarily, because I think the idea was that they did a stress test, which was supposed to fail. All right, cool. Then we do another test, and shit, the one that was supposed to prove that we've beaten that stress test problem didn't work because of the way the parachute was folded, and so they went with a different company, which probably used an entirely different design.
Oh, okay. I might have jumbled that up in the order of events there. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Then so I didn't read it that way. Maybe there's some order of things there. I believe that the folding part was having to do with the actual the investigation was determined that one of the workers was left-handed. So no,
gotcha.
It was the way I was describing it. But
okay.
The idea that this guy wanted everything within the manual to be about doing it under nominal circumstances, and he's like, no, we broke the typical protocol in order to test those limits and learn them. He's like, no, all I just see is a broken device and what have you that we can't use that, and that's just more money and stuff.
Okay, so now how do you take that? There's Pico's baggage. Now how do you get him to actually help you?
You drink with him. I'm telling you, we gotta have somebody drink with him. And if it's gonna be Muta, that sounds fun because in a lot of ways, if I remember right, the one time maybe Muta has drank thus far, if he's drank at all, I think he did drink.
He's definitely
he was a lightweight.
He's definitely drank before, and he is a lightweight.
But
yes, like the whole thing of like the celebration party that wasn't actually the conclusion of the test and things like that.
Yeah,
and he was getting sloshed and just having a good time. I could absolutely see it being something where it's like, oh wait, we have someone who didn't fit well into the office politics of NASA,
has an engineer's mind,
and a big chip on their shoulder regarding attention to detail. Oh yeah, I think Muta will get along with them great once they can actually start talking. Yeah, and if they need healthy or unhealthy amount of social lubricant in order to make that happen,
right,
then do what must be done.
Exactly. How many drinks do you think it takes a bold to become calm? To like.
I don't know, but wasn't it even something where when he went into the
bar?
Where like he got a water or something?
Oh, let me check. Yeah. When they're in the bar, he gets the wild turkey. No, he's got
that looks like water.
Oh, I thought that was foam. Yeah, that might just be water.
He's too disciplined to even drink, you know, where it's like
I'm looking at this just to see if there's any fit. No fizz.
Yeah, he got
an ice
got
water.
an ice water.
Jeez.
Yep.
That's really funny. Yeah, he's even using the glass specifically for, you know, that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You look drunk and you haven't even started.
I'm a nervous wreck when I'm sober these days.
Yeah. So the drinking is basically just a numbing agent.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because again, it's not when you get punished for doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. But it's like, no, yeah, I'll do better next time or whatever.
It's the I should have done.
It's when you get punished for doing something right. That's the stuff that will just take your knees out from under you.
Yeah.
But
cool. Well, we got a great bit of characterization for Pico and a little bit more for Bold. And yeah, I feel like our characters are equipped now with how to address him. But as for choosing their angle as to addressing him, that I think will be fun and very like we should brainstorm and I want to see who is involved in that conversation with Muta as to how they.
I will say though,
do it.
For this, you know, test where they have the 2 weeks or whatever, I really like the idea that we're like, oh, this person's being ridiculously unhelpful and just saying that they're not going to participate. Okay, well, clearly there's something wrong with them. All right, we're going to go have lunch with somebody who they used to work with or whatever and be like, what's their deal?
Yep.
And that's
smart.
That's a very smart and effective and to the point way to make it so then the characters actually know the backstory of the person who clearly has no reason to tell them their backstory. Right? That way they can actually, you know, hopefully resolve the situation.
Yeah.
But
all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.